Hey everybody, Kevin here from HumboldtCraftworks. Welcome to another episode of Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. And today we're going to do a day in the life of Mr. Kevin and his wacky wood shop. I have a hard time saying no to anybody. Can you do that? Oh, sure, bring it over, I'll do it. Can you do this? Sure, I'll do that. I don't really think about time or what day it is or whatever. And my client that I did the pre-finished cabinets for, she has these bar stools and they're too tall. And she said, can you cut them down? So I said, sure, I'll come by and get them. So I went and picked them up this morning and here they are, shaped like a saddle. Let me tell you something about these legs. These legs are all loose, all about to fall apart anyway, and they were found in the trash and they were free. And I'm gonna spend my time making these free, found in the trash bar stools. I'm gonna fix them up and cut them down. So the bar stool right now, as it sits from here to here is 30 inches. I have to cut them down to 26. So I have to cut 4 inches off these legs and make them all nice, square and flat, just like they are now. So have you ever had to do that? Well, if you've never had to do that, I'm gonna show you how to do it. And, and here's my other problem. So silly me, I brought home my apron. I don't know why I did from my install, but here's the thing, I didn't bring any tools home. I have no drivers, I have no anything. I gotta make a jig to cut these down, and to cut them down, I'm just gonna have to use one of these saws right here. I'm not sure which one. This is my dovetail saw, or I'm just gonna use my Japanese pull saw right here. And this might work also. But I gotta make a jig and I have no chop saw. I have no nail guns, I have no drivers, I have nothing. So I'm gonna figure out how to go about making a jig to cut these legs down by hand, just using a pull saw with no power tools, I guess. I have a piece of scrap wood. I'll show you how I'm gonna go about figuring out how to make the angle cut right and all that stuff. So I got two of these, two that I have to cut down, make a jig so I can cut these so they're all square and wonderful and beautiful, so they don't lean one way or the other. Right now they're super loose. You can see how it's all wiggly and falling apart. First thing I'm gonna do is tighten these all up somehow and figure out how to make them all wonderful and stiff, and then I'm gonna cut the legs off of them and hopefully I get them all right so they're not leaning one way or the other. And I'm gonna film the whole thing and show you how to do it also as well. So I'm gonna spin the camera out a little bit and we'll just walk and talk our way through all this. And in case somebody asks you, hey, can you cut down my bar stool? It's too damn tall, or any chair or anything, and it'll probably work the same way, except for the angle of the dangle. And I'm not sure if I need to figure that out or not, or just actually just set it up and cut it. And as long as it's all the same, she needs 4 inches cut off. Is this even 4 inches? This is 4 1/4. So I'm gonna rip this on the table to saw to 4 inches, and we're gonna go from there. Okay, now you can see everything. All right, so normally what you would do is you would take just a hunk of wood like this, and you just make sure it's square, and you just cut it square. You know, you can take it like this and cut that like that, square. Or you can have this thing like this, but see it's on an angle. See the angle here? So we actually have to make something with this angle to it. Whether it's the front angle here or the side angle. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna find out using the Wixie what that angle is. If I can find the damn thing. Hopefully I didn't take that with me too. Shoot. Right, here we go, the Wixie. We're gonna use our Wixie on this piece of metal here to figure out the angle of the dangle, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna just take our saw and we're just gonna cut it. And we're gonna see if this angle and this angle here are the same. And then we're gonna figure out how we're gonna go about cutting this, because here's what we're gonna do. I don't even have my kindergarten pencils with me, all I got is stain pens. Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna take this board, we're gonna leave this end square, we can do that, won't matter much. And then we're gonna take this and we're just gonna take this and cut this. So this is actually level this way, which is whatever this angle is here. Okay, so we have our Wixie and it's set at 0. We got this board that we can rip down to put an angle on this, so it'll be, make this part level so we can just cut it. I'm gonna flip this over. What does that say, 82.7? Okay, let's see what this side is. That one says 83. Well, let's try this one. 82.5. Let's see, if I move it like that, 82.6. Take a little calculator here and we go 90 degrees being square, minus 82.6, 7.4 degrees. And we set it on here, this should be level, right? What do you think? We can give it a shot and see what happens. And that way I can do 2 of these and I can kind of just squish them together there. And I can just cut this way or across this way and it'll be done. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna repair all this stuff, and I gotta figure that out. So I'm gonna flip these upside down and take a look at whatever is broken or missing, because these are all just falling apart. They came out of the trash and somebody threw them away, and my client grabbed them because they are cool looking and they were free. So I'm gonna do that first before we go do anything else. Hey everybody, welcome back to day 2 of fixing the bar stools. So what we did yesterday is we figured out what the angle was using the Wixie. It was 7.5 degrees. I've cut that on 2 pieces of scrap plywood. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna place them on the bottom like this. These two should be now parallel with the floor. I'm gonna show you that by putting a hunk of wood on there, and I don't know if you can really see that or not, but this from here to here is the same on both sides. That means that this is level or 90 degrees to the floor. I'm gonna use some 3-inch spring clamps here. I'm gonna kind of make these as even as I can. Put them there. Okay, they're both shoved down to the floor. They're on this piece of 1-inch MDF. They're parallel with the floor, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the pole saw now, and I'm just gonna place it down here, and I'm gonna lightly cut, not pushing hard. I'm just gonna score all the way around the leg. We're just gonna start cutting it. I'm putting my hand down nice and flat, so I'm just keeping it nice and flat. Nice, subtle little cut. We can go around in circles like this. Whee! And we're just gonna cut it. And you can push down on it. You wanna keep it flat. What happens when it breaks loose? I don't know. What I could do is go all the way around it. And just leave the last little bit till the very end. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna do the one back here. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. See, I cut all the way through except for the last little tiny bit. And now we're gonna cut this side. I'm gonna go around in circles like this. That way it'll help the blade track, you know? Now, you know what I could do? I could do this on the other side too, and then just leave the last little bit and freehand it. We might just do that. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I've almost cut this entire thing all the way around, and I think the last little bit I'm just gonna freehand cut. So we're gonna disconnect these two. I'm gonna take this. Now we gotta do the opposite over here. So I'm gonna flip them around, facing the other direction. So they're like that, right? Clamp these two here in the middle. Clamp it like this. So you can see here, this is cut almost all the way around. Both of them are just about chopped through. And yeah, so I'm gonna take this, that's there. Making sure everything's down flat. Put that on there, make sure that still looks like it's flat, and it does. Use this guy, see if it's the same as the other side. Touching, yep. Okay, just gonna cut all the way around here. I don't even think I need this one. Just gonna 86 that. And I'm not cutting hard, I'm just barely cutting. Just as light as possible. All right, there we go, we're getting around there, getting around. Okay, we almost went all the way through on that one. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Just start out really lightly. If you want to, you can push down on top of the plywood to start your cut, just to make sure you got it all as flat as you can. But I'm kind of actually twisting with this hand a little bit, pushing the blade down onto the plywood. I'm just actually kind of twisting it like that as I'm cutting. Not very hard, just lightly. Otherwise you're gonna cut into the plywood, and you don't want to do that either. You just want to keep that blade down. These blades are amazing. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. Just disconnecting these guys. Okay, we're done with that. We're gonna get rid of this. Push that over there. Oh my God, that thing's heavy. Okay. Now hopefully we got them all. You can see every single one is cut, right? Now we're just gonna finish up. I'm gonna finish the last bit of the cut. You can see how wiggly, see how soft that is? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That's it. That's the last of the cut. Oh, this one's just ready to about fall off. Okay. This one's got a little bit more beef to it. Okay. There's that one. Get the blade in there. That's it. Okay, before I do anything else, now I'm gonna flip it over and hopefully it sits on here flat. There it is, nice and flat. Ta-da! All right, so we do have a little bit of we got some of this crap we have to deal with, a little blowout and chips. So you see that right there, a little chippy. Before I do the next one, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna come around the edge here and file it. I got this old crappy file. I got an idea. I'm gonna get a stick and some 100 grit, and I'm gonna go around that. All right, so I found a piece of 100 grit. I got this block that I've used a million times for other things. And we're just gonna take this, kind of like what they do with horseshoes. Horses' hooves, you know, you wanna put a nice bevel on them. All right, there we go. Oh, okay, now we're gonna take our stain pen, stain marker by Minwax. We're just gonna go around the edges here. Yeah, the things you do for your clients, man, I tell you. All right, everybody, there you go. There it is. How tall is it now? Hopefully it's around 26 inches. Yeah, it's 25 3/4. Yeah, it's close enough. And that's it. Ba-ba, ta-done. And there you go. Now you also know how you can cut the legs off of a table. You cut the legs off of a chair. So you can cut anything with an angle on it, like this bar stool. As long as you figure out what the angle is, just make it on your table saw. Because these two pieces are just, you know, angled pieces I cut on the table saw, 7.5 degrees. And you put them both facing the same way, so everything is parallel and 90 degrees to the ground. Clamp it on there, cut it, and then lightly cut them, score them all the way around. Do all 4 sides and then cut them freehand when you're done, and you're good to go. Hopefully you learned something, and if you did, give me the old thumbs up. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. That's me. You have an awesome day. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Subscribe now.
Well, push this out of the way. Or not. Hello. How do I go about putting this? I don't know. Smart me. Hello. Zoomer in. Hey, no. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, camera parts are just stupid. Spice whack on a rim roll on a gamooga booga.